Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Can everyone hear me? See the Bitcoin chart? We should be live. Hugo, Yogai, Tufan, Area, Daniel. Welcome, welcome. Funded player, Justin, Dan, Batosai. Welcome everyone. Are you stopped out yet? Nah, man. My validation is above 123,000. I agree, we are looking good. The daily was pretty damn strong. But we'll see. I'm waiting out a weekly close personally. I will hold my shorts until then and reevaluate. If we close super strong on the weekly above last month's high, I might close, because at that point, chances of us trading a lot higher from here, don't get me wrong, I do think we trade a lot higher over the coming months. Just think that we might need some liquidity lower down first. But yeah, that's my plan. Waiting out a weekly close and then we'll see. Notice coming in clutch. Let's go. I'll give some thoughts again on the markets, but yeah, to be honest, nothing too much has changed. If you've watched my previous streams and videos, you know exactly what I'm looking at here. You know that we were ready for a move like this into OTE up here, and you know what I want to see next, and what invalidates this whole idea. But yeah, people think it's a big deal that I'm shorting Bitcoin, but like I'm fully in spot, like long Ethereum, holding spot ETH, Bitcoin, Litecoin, whatever it is. If Bitcoin trades higher from here, that would only be a good thing, and I would make a lot more money then compared to if we would go lower from here. But I gotta follow the charts and I gotta follow my gut feeling, and yeah, I don't know. The longer we trade up here, the bigger the chance that we break higher from here. But for now, I'm waiting it out a bit. So yeah. What's your accent from? I'm from Belgium. I see it clearly from you saying the monthly flat bottom needs to wick. Yeah, it doesn't need to have a wick, right? The monthly here. But what I do know is that when last month's high gets swept into supply, into OTE, all of that, you have a clean validation above and you have a flat monthly low. That gives you enough confluence for me to form a short trade around it, you see. And I can be wrong, right? If the markets are truly bullish, everything likely sends higher, but so be it then. I just think that if we start rejecting here on the daily, right, the closer we get towards that flat monthly bottom, the bigger the chance that we take it. And at that point, who knows, maybe we even go for that liquidity below here. Possible that we don't get it. Anything is possible, as always, but that's what I'm watching here. So let's see what we get. It wouldn't be the first time that we have a monthly sweep, right? Downside, and then reverse OTE and supply area, just to nuke to the lows after that. Let's see if I can find an example. Yeah, in this case we didn't quite get something like that. Like let's say this move, for example, right? And even in this case, liquidity had already been swept to the downside, so that was even lower probability, but it's sort of the same move that you get back into supply. Whether you're taking it like this, right? It's sort of around the OTE area with the validation above there. If you take it really from the highest point to the lowest point, since the retrace happened, then you can see it's cleaner, right? Rejected at OTE and nuke hard after that. It's often when you get like the sentiment, everyone gets excited, and then maybe situation there was different, but that's what I'm seeing here. The risk reward and the invalidation is too clean for me not to take some shorts at least here, up here, and go for a short play. Zalekis, welcome, man. Good to see you. All right. Do you think we potentially sweep into daily demand below? Possibly. Yeah, the question is, some people are looking for like a retrace and then the break higher. Do I think that could be the case? Yes, but it's not that clean in my opinion, because if we now start breaking back below last month's high, right, the draw will become big on that flat monthly bottom, and then once we've taken that, like, is this support gonna be enough to push us higher back again and go for all-time highs? I don't know. At that point we might need to take that liquidity lower down here. It could be the case, and I will likely take some profits, especially because I added to my shorts this morning up here. So I will likely reduce some size if we see the sweep of that flat monthly bottom, just in case we get a fat bounce, right? And at that point, if we have that monthly wick to the downside, even if it's just a small one, right? I could see us bounce big from there and then moving to all-time highs. Although I would still like it more if we go for liquidity below here, right? But if this happens and we bounce big, yeah, then likely close out shorts and sit it out. But eventually it will run away. Yeah, of course. I do think so, yeah. French side or Flemish? Flemish, man. What's the logic behind flat bottom candles? Why are they so important to be tagged? Because if you look at a monthly chart, you're not gonna see a lot of flat bottoms that didn't get taken within the same candle. Of course, you can see it then, or the next few candles. We had one right here, and even here we did have a small wick, not a big one, but where else? Small one here, but you can, oh yeah, right here we had one. Could be the case, right? So we just run away from it. But in most cases, we need an upside wick and we need the downside wick. And whenever you close and straight move up, right, and the momentum slows down and you start retracing a bit, that flat candle is gonna be a draw on liquidity. Well, it's just gonna be a draw on price, and it's likely that it gets taken out. The 12-hour candle opened as well with a flat bottom, by the way. 4-hour as well. I don't think we see a breakout through all-time highs from here, honestly. Maybe another move, maybe some chop, a 3 tribes pattern, who knows, and then back down in my opinion. But let's see. Guys, leave a like if you enjoy the live stream or just to support me. It helps me a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ethereum was cleaner and I was long Ethereum. After we swept this low, right? So we were, ever since we were trading here, I was watching a sweep of the lows. I posted it on X. I should be retweeting some of my thoughts more often that I talk about in these live streams. There's literally, that's literally the thing I said ever since we swept the highs here and traded down here. I said what I want to see is a sweep of range lows, right? Then a reclaim, and then we can start talking about new highs. And played out beautifully so far. We got the sweep into that former range high level, bounced nicely, reclaimed range lows. So as long as we hold above this area, I think the next target is range highs again. Reclaim range highs and way higher. But yeah, I get it. It's difficult because I'm sort of bearish here, expecting a pullback on Bitcoin. Yeah, what's gonna happen with Ethereum? We'll have to see, you know, how big the pullback is going to be. But yeah, Ethereum looks nice for a bounce in this area. Sideways price action, move down, right? Sideways price action, back up. I think that's gonna be key support. If you take your OTE from the low to the high, it's slightly below there. So if you wanna go for a range setup, look to buy dips in there, invalidation below the lows and target range highs. Something like this. But for now, also against resistance, right? Beautiful pivotal mid-range that we have here. Pivotal price action here. Here, of course, support and a smashed back down. Now coming into that resistance area. So yeah, a retrace from here is definitely likely, in my opinion. If you think that Bitcoin will sweep the low, why do you think Ethereum will be good in that area? Don't you think it will go down more than Bitcoin? That's what I just said. I could see, for example, Bitcoin go for that flat monthly bottom, right? And wick a bit lower, do something like this, and then retrace. And that, where would that put Ethereum? Well, maybe something like this, and then reclaim higher. We'll have to see. We don't have that information yet, but I do think the Ethereum chart at the moment looks way better than the Bitcoin chart. Not necessarily way better, but the setup is cleaner. The short setup here is cleaner, while the long setup on Ethereum is cleaner. Are you expecting 5K after this potential Bitcoin short? Yes, sure. Like, I'm super bullish on everything. I just think that we need a sweep lower first. Look at this monthly chart on Ethereum. That's not something you're bearish on, right? Although, again, barely a wick to the downside. But even then, let's say, right, all of this. Let's say we do this, and I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but just imagine, right? We have that flat monthly. Let's just say, so mark out this as key resistance, right? Just a basic pivotal level. Let's say Ethereum comes down from here, right? Even if it comes down all the way to last month's low, last month's high, right? And it trades down there on the lower time frames. So that would mean, again, come down for this and does something like this. How will everyone feel, you think? Everyone will be calling for it's over, we're going lower, right? While on the monthly, that would simply be putting in the lower wick on the monthly candle right into support. So bullish retests on the higher time frames that will likely still send prices way higher after. Not necessarily thinking that we go for this low again, especially because this last week's low already was the liquidity grab below here, right? But what I definitely could see is that monthly low to get taken, something like this, and then way higher from there. But hey, let's see. If we send from here, also fine, you know. Like I said, I'll make more money if everything goes higher from here. But yeah, I posted about it, you know. I shorted up here, targeted range lows, flipped long here. And as you can see, that trade is going beautifully. Everyone was saying it was over on the break below these range lows. Everyone was saying 5K. Right into resistance up here. So yeah. We'll see, I guess. Litecoin is another good one. We also said I posted a snippet video on Twitter like an hour ago, where I talked about it in a live stream when we were trading, I think somewhere around here, where I said also on Ethereum, right, when it was trading here, that I thought everything needed a sweep lower. Also Litecoin, that I was looking for a lower time frame sweep, and then if we would break above resistance right here, that I could see the big squeeze out of the monthly range that we had been waiting for. And it's looking good, right? The weekly is shaping up nicely, but we'll have to see how it closes. But nothing changed to our plan that this should be the monthly accumulation range that ultimately leads to a massive pump into $300 area. We've seen these kind of setups a lot. Well, not a lot on the higher time frames. They don't happen that much, but if they happen, they can be very profitable. We saw it on Link out of this range, for example, right? Big rally. I'm not targeting all-time highs, you know, but just I will take profit along the way. But what was that? You see, like 2.5x. We saw it on Ripple XRP from down here. Massive pump, right? So why not see it on Litecoin from here? That's what I'm seeing, at least. So that's the reason why I'm holding spot, because the one thing that's very difficult with these kind of trades is timing the breakouts. You don't know when it's going to happen. So best thing to do here in cases like this is just to buy spot. And I was trying to time it, right? Well, I am trying to time it, but I don't think I'll trade it, as I have a lot of spot on this. But I do think, right, if you ask me when do you think it's going to happen, well, we got the lower time frame sweep now. If we now manage to get above here, right, show some momentum, and we start breaking out, then it's gonna explode, I think. Will Litecoin going back to $100 for filling my bags? I don't know, man. Maybe, who knows? How can you manage your emotions when shorting Bitcoin and longing ETH? Isn't it contradicting at some point? It definitely is. But what helps me a lot, if you're talking about emotions, right? I get what you mean. And how I try to stay as calm as possible is by planning ahead. I know exactly what I want to see here and what I don't want to see, and I know exactly what I want to see here and don't want to see here, right? For Ethereum, for upside, what I want to see, as long as we hold above this range low now, I think we're good for upside. But if we start turning here on the daily, right? Bitcoin starts dumping, like, I'll be good still in this Ethereum long, right? What I want to see for Bitcoin, I want to see prices maybe chop a bit here, right? Maybe wick some more highs, then see it start rejecting and breaking back below last month's high and going for that flat monthly bottom. If we don't, right? And we start pumping, so be it. Then happy days, we'll have our ETH longs, likely printing a lot higher as well. But like I said, step by step, if Bitcoin starts retracing and goes for that flat monthly bottom, we look at Ethereum again. If Ethereum is holding strong above this range low, right? That's a good thing. Nothing to worry about. We take some off on our Bitcoin shorts, at least the part that we added up here, and reevaluate step by step, see how the next candles close, make new plans, look what we want to see. Yeah, that's basically all it is. Okay, but where would you set a stop loss for Bitcoin? It's literally there. I have my stops up here. Why there? This was the level that got swept, right? So if we are topping in the OTE area, in the resistance area, I don't think that we need to break above here. Because if we do, we at least sweep this, right? But most likely go a lot higher. I personally don't think that we'll see a scenario like this, where we go for all-time highs and then snap back down to go for the lows. If we do so, like, sure, then I'll once again reevaluate, might re-enter shorts. But that's why I'm keeping my stops above there for now, as I think that's the best validation I can get. And look at the risk reward, even towards that flat monthly bottom, it's already 1 hour. So that's more than enough for me. Very in-depth explanation. Yeah, I'm trying my best. So, what's interesting here? Let's see. Oh yeah, Bird is breaking out. That's nice to see. Right? We talk about it pretty much on every live stream. It looks gorgeous. As I said, like, if I would love for Bitcoin to trade to new all-time highs. I'm fully in spot. I'm in altcoins. I'm in. I would make much more money if Bitcoin stands to new highs, because then ultimately that liquidity would flow into other coins, into Ethereum, BNB, Litecoin, ultimately meme coins as well. Anyways, Bird, as I said, breaking out, right? Close the daily here and keep running away from it would be lovely. But yeah, I mean, I keep saying the same things, right? Was a clean first support level here, bounced to there, then broke below it, resistance, and then a long accumulation, right? Broke out, retest, we buy the retest and sell the opposite side, which is up here. I won't sell all of it. I staked my coins, some of my coins, so I will likely take some profit if we sweep this, and hold the rest in case we go for all-time highs. BNB looking good as well, although the weekly, I don't like this candle. So just like everything else, right? We just swept. Yeah, by the way, the scenario of 2 days ago, you remember? We were looking for longs if we would sweep this. Oh, that was the, yeah, that was the weekly low, I think. Yeah, right? So we were looking for a sweep there, and then we would long invalidation either below there or below there, targeting these highs up here, all-time highs, and then keep some in case we would go a lot higher. But look, front ran by like very little, and now trading significantly higher already. So, but same thing for BNB here. If you just take a look at the high time frame candles, right? Last week's high, resting there, got swept, and we have that ugly flat, not really flat, but an ugly wick to the downside on the weekly. So if we start rejecting here, break back below here, break back below last week's high, and start doing this, yeah, then I think, sorry, we go for these lows at least. But hey, once again, if it doesn't and we start running away from the candle and close next week up here, yeah, then just full send everything. Still holding all of my spot backs I bought in this range and below here, by the way. So I haven't taken any profit on my spot backs yet. I hope to see a very good next couple of months, and then I'll start taking profit. Why did you short pump? Because it's a very clean setup. This is the setup. I'm still in, right? Clean validation. You have supply above this level. OTE resting in the same area. So this is supply. And you have this key level right there that just got rejected. But yeah, I could see a pump a little bit higher into OTE. That's why I have my invalidation above there. Target, clean lows here. Like, I didn't like how we consolidated and then just pumped out of nowhere. Coming this close to that often means that we need to revisit it. And then I'd like to see something like this, reclaim. And if we do that, look for longs there. Right. So yeah, I'm in a loss at the moment, but nothing changed. It's looking ugly even. I would short again here. Look at this 4-hour candle formation. Heavy rejection there, ugly close. Now straight from the 4-hour open, pumped, swept some highs. Yeah. We'll see, right? Maybe another sweep there, then reject, maybe even higher. Maybe stop me out. Risk is managed. By the way, guys, as you can see on the top right of the screen, breakout. I'm doing a giveaway. I'm not sure if you saw already. Breakout is basically an evaluation-based prop firm, meaning you can get a funded account to not trade your own money, but trade someone else's, right? So all you have to do is buy an evaluation, pass that evaluation. If you do, you get funded, and then you can request payouts whenever you like. And I'm currently doing a giveaway where I'm giving away an evaluation for a $100,000 account. All right, completely free. So if you want to participate, all you have to do is buy your first evaluation on breakout. Doesn't matter the size, right? The account you're going for. If you buy an evaluation for the first time using my checkout code, you're automatically in for the giveaway. So far, we don't have that many signups yet, as we just announced it yesterday. So there's a pretty good chance, if it stays like this, obviously, that you win. You could ask yourself then, if you end up winning, you have 2 evaluations. Well, yeah, if you buy a small one at first and then you get a free 100k evaluation and you pass it, you get funded $100,000, right? If you fail the first one and you win, you can still try on the second one. So go check it out. It's just with the usual link, the usual breakout link. The link doesn't matter. It's all about the code. So just use that code at the checkout to get a discount, and then you're in. All right. Yeah, Bert, not messing around. It hurts sometimes, man. You remember when my wallets got drained? This was my biggest loss, all of my Bird tokens, and the hackers sold them like somewhere down here. If I would have held, like, that would have been a huge bag. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see Bitcoin here. 12-hour opened, right? Straight up popped from the open, flat bottom. So in my opinion, we sweep some highs and reject them. and then trades. Maybe not that low, that fast, but do something like this. And then we'll see if it wants to trade higher, something like this. Otherwise, if it sweeps again and rejects, yeah, then likely down. I sold almost my whole portfolio at 117k. Damn, okay. Discord link is not working. I will make a new one after the stream. And if I don't, DM me on Twitter. Do you think Bitcoin could drop to 95, 90 and retrace from there? Yeah, although technically, yes. Well, 90, yeah, why not? You know, maybe sweep this. But at that point, it will take a long time. Like, it's not gonna do this and then V-reverse and go for all-time highs, in my opinion, right? Then it should be something like this, boom, and then, I don't know, a lot of chop and then breaking out. But then the timing wouldn't... I think it will be too late by then. So then I think it's gonna be a long-ass ranging sideways chop. So makes more sense to me to do this, reclaim, and then later in October, right, pop again, and then November, December, strong upside moves. If you spam with tickers, I'm just gonna hide you, so please don't. Egan. Let's see. That's not bad. This weekly swept a lot of lows. But this is a different picture. Yeah, I would wait for proper confirmation above here. Otherwise, just looks like a sweep of this high. Failed to break out, back inside the range, and now a retest. That sends us lower. So either a reclaim of this range high or wait for a lot more ranging. Near. Nah, not bad, but also not really exciting, right? Just ranging. Could it bump to these highs? Yes, sure. But when? I don't know. Could see these lows first. Not liking it. Aster. I have it right here, I think. Yeah. So previous stream we said it wasn't looking too hot, right? Because of these weekly levels, and that we swept previous week's high, broke below, closed below, then popped into that resistance, rejected and broke below the weekly open. Now we did see some downside. We're pumping a bit. It's up 10%, but technically it's still at key resistance here. So unless we get really a break, something like above here, above this, until then, I think this just rolls over again and trades lower. Ondo. Long time since I checked that one. Yeah, again, nothing too exciting, you know, just ranging. Maybe look for a sweep down here and then higher, or a break above here. Those will be the exciting moves. Not when it's doing this. Let's see if Aster is worth a short, actually. Nah, not the best risk reward, right? But I think this works. Okay, sweeping low time frame highs, and now we see, right, a little bit higher ideally, and then reject. Moo, I opened a short 2 hours ago. I'm thinking if I should hold. Let's see. Oh well, your short is doing good, I guess. Yeah, this... I agree. This looks horrible. Rejected there. Daily. What an ugly... In general, what an ugly chart, man. Did sweep some lows here, but like 4 hour it just swept all of this and it's rejecting hard. So likely back towards here, and then we'll see. If it holds here, I could see a push higher. If it breaks below here, then likely a lot lower again towards these lows here. But like, why trade this? Yeah, for shorts it makes sense, but if you observe low time frame, you can see how they pump Bitcoin, then they sell it and pump ETH. They are doing the same thing in the last 2 days. Interesting. Short ETH. Yeah, makes sense. General question. When price is stagnant for months, do you trade or no? Yes, I will trade, especially Bitcoin. I like trading Bitcoin when it's ranging because it moves very clean from one liquidity point to another. Just those quick moves. But altcoins, nah. I like trading altcoins when they're explosive, you know. Right, high swept. Let's see now if we run away from it and see new highs or not. ETH rather weak here. $70 people and 27 likes. Let's get the likes to 40 at least, please. Nice. 37. 3 more. Come on. Would you consider weak ETH at this time? Would kind of foreshadow Bitcoin weakness. Nah. That's just psyops. Like, there's no point in like trying to guess whether Ethereum is foreshadowing Bitcoin or Bitcoin low time frame is foreshadowing altcoins. I don't know. Just look at the chart, what it's doing. That's all. But yeah, looks strong, right? Let's see. So far, no real rejection here. But like, that's normal, you know? If you're looking for a setup where you get a sweep, remember what I said, sweeps is not about wicking above and closing below anymore. It's more about going above, thinking, letting everyone think that it's gonna trade higher and then snapping it back down. Just like we saw here, for example, like we saw here. These are just quick examples here. Even a better example is ETH recently, right here. Not a clean sweep, but rather make it look as ugly as possible, right? And then reverse it. And the opposite way, right? Make it look as good as possible, as bullish as possible, and then reverse it. Are you gonna add to shorts at the 7.9 OTE level? Nope, I added this morning on my Bitcoin shorts, and now I'm gonna stick to what I have. This was a setup I was also watching on AVAX, a short as well. Yeah, I didn't like on the 4 hour especially all of these lows resting here. And it just felt like a very strong down move and then sort of bear flagging, right? With clean validation, once again above OTE, above supply, and targeting some new lows. Weekly, just a clean weekly chart, could also see that. Now it looks better, honestly. We didn't have that week. Litecoin rejecting though, that's not ideal. Because then it's just in the same range again, so likely a lot more ranging, blah blah blah, and then out of nowhere pump. Altcoin still looks horrible. Pump, yeah, I mean shorts, as you know. What else do we have? Monero. Funny story. So I posted this yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw when it was trading here. I said, is it going to follow Zcash, right? Privacy coins. I was targeting here. I had a long, see it's still here. I had this long that I opened here and then I closed like for, I made some profit, but I closed it like here. And then it did this. Like, fuck me. Would have been like 5R. Could have been a banger. But anyways, it is what it is. Looks good though. High time frame. See, another example of that huge accumulation range on high time frames is this one. Right? Broke out, consolidation, boom, massive pump. Like, I really think, maybe not only think, but also hope. Yeah, for sure hope, because I have a lot of spots. But I really think that Litecoin is gonna do the same at some point. Especially if Bitcoin breaks out, especially if Ethereum breaks out, Litecoin is gonna do something crazy. And you just have to wait, be patient, and make money on it. So yeah. That's what I'm doing at least. Aster we already did. I don't like it. It's just bumping into resistance. Grass. Let's see. This crap. Yeah, not looking good, man. Swept some highs into resistance. Looks ready for another leg lower to all-time lows. FTM. Phantom. Oof, what's this doing here? Oh, it's... What the hell? It's delisted or something. Where's... Huh? Oh, it renamed or something. When are you doing it public 100x challenge? I am doing a challenge in my Discord. Oh yeah, the ticker changed. Okay. I'm trading like a 10k account that I'm trading, that I've been trading the last couple of months. I'm sitting at 70 something thousand. So yeah, I am trading publicly there. If you want to join Discord, it's free. All I'm asking is to trade on my Bluefin link. So just sign up using the link in the description, make an account. I can hit you up with a VIP account as well if you trade some size, and then you can join the Discord for free. So as yeah, also looking bad, right? Swept some lows though, so maybe it could be a nice trade. Daily, yeah, it's looking not bad. I mean, it is looking bad as it's trading to new low after new low, but I could see a setup if you retrace here, retest this, where you buy this and target like up here and up here. That would be nice. And otherwise, yeah, where's range mean? Range low, range high. Let's see. Yeah, clean, right? Or if it goes from here, like a break above here, this consolidation would be nice as well. Then a reclaim. Although I don't really like this setup as you don't have a clean invalidation, right? If you buy here the range lows, your setup is that the range low needs to hold. So you can have your invalidation there, and then you can see very good risk rewards to range highs. While if you look to buy a setup like this, I'd still need my stop loss to go below here, and then it gets a little tricky. Wondering when this is going to bottom. Launched last week and it's been going down. I wanted to look for a trade on this, but I posted about it as well, but it just keeps on dumping. I want to see like what an accumulation range form, something like this, and then a sweep, and then I'll look to buy some. But so far, like, what's this? Sui. What's this doing? Also still ranging. Nice sweep there though, but nothing exciting yet. We want to see those weekly breakouts, you know. So far we don't have them yet. Here we also want it lower. Trump, all-time lows as well. Nice. I need to clean up this list, to be honest. Oh yeah, let's take a look at gold and silver. So S&P trading to new highs. Oh, it's rejecting. Yeah, let Bitcoin reject as well. But anyways, high time frame, new high after new high. Silver super strong. Setup, sorry, from Tuesday was playing out beautifully. Well, is playing out beautifully, but yeah, don't be surprised like when this takes a snap back, right, and sees a pretty big dump. But any dip, in my opinion, is a buy, right? It's almost at all-time highs, as you can see. But I'm holding, you know, gold as well. Massive breakout. And then platinum, beautiful chart. A lot of ranging here. We were targeting, yeah, range highs, to be honest. Still am. Just broke above, close to the monthly, above this range EQ, which is very bullish. So any dip, in my opinion, is a buy targeting the highs. Main and Ansem got that same Bitcoin short as you, I think. That's possible, yeah. Two very good traders, so let's see. Like, experienced guys sort of also realize that it's just gonna be from here. Like, it's very simple. Either we're going for all-time highs and you're gonna trade so much higher, or your short works out. So it's worth it, you know? What you don't want to do is short every like up move you get, because if it trades higher, your spot is up. No, but like if the setup is there and you have confluence of a lot of things in the same area, you have sorry, you have a clean validation, then it's just worth it. If this ends up being a range breakout, what would your target be for Bitcoin if you decide to go long? Good question. Let's take a look. So my main target for Bitcoin ever since we traded like yeah, for a long time was 130k. Right, and we front ran it like right here. Otherwise I would likely have sold some spot Bitcoin. So far I haven't, but what I like using is the fib levels, right, of the latest retrace, and use that as a target. And if you do that from this high to this low, which was the last big retrace, those are the levels you get, right? The 1.618 and the 2 level, and those are lining up right above 130k. So I think that would be a nice sweet spot, at least to take some off, right? At least if you're long. But could I see it run a lot higher? Of course. What's the most recent retrace on the lower time frames? From this high to this low, right? If we go for all-time highs from here, we will have to see. But then this was the latest retrace that sent prices to all-time highs, and then your targets would be 135 and 141. So I think in general this area for spot is a very solid target. 135k, 141k, yeah, somewhere around there. My spot game has been on point the last couple of years. I made most of my money on spot. I bought the lows down here, then added big on this retest when I've been holding ever since. Like I post about it when I buy and when I sell. I think you can learn a lot about it if you, yeah, at least are being honest about your buys and sells and about your trades as well on Twitter. And if you post them, like, at least be honest. But I think it also gives you like some sort of responsibility, right, to not do something stupid. So that's why I've just been doing it. So I will also say so if I sell some spots, and if prices end up running another 20% after that, so be it, you know. Of course, I will never sell all of my Bitcoin, but I will be taking some heavy profits, I think, at least in the next couple of months. And ideally, that will be above 130K, between 130 and 150. But I also want to time it like during Q4, right? If we end up like full sending from here and we're trading at 140K next week, I will likely give it some more time, you know? So yeah. Let's see. I'm excited for the next couple months to see what we're gonna get. I hope it's gonna be good. Like, give us one more run, you know. Not only on Bitcoin but also ETH. Like, send ETH to 7K, somewhere around there. Same strategy from the high to the low. What's your main target gonna be on a breakout? 1.618 level, and that's right above 7K. So that's the main target for Ethereum on the higher time frames, in my opinion. Remember this call, by the way, high time frame. I posted a chart, like I said, if you reclaim range lows now, the target is 7K, and like everyone was like, what are you talking about? And then we went up 2x. Now we're trading here, so who knows, you know? But I really like what I'm seeing on Ethereum as well. And then, like I said, Litecoin, I'm holding spots. I will be selling on the way up. BNB, not sure where to target BNB. The only reason I'm holding this one is because of what I think is going to happen to Bitcoin and Ethereum over the coming months. And I think if Bitcoin breaks out, Ethereum breaks out, trade into price discovery, yeah, there's no way Binance coin is gonna be done from here, you know. So then this is likely trading into 1.4K at least, you know, maybe even a lot higher, as this one is already trading in price discovery. Mental chart. Sort of looks a bit like Ethereum, no? If you look at it this way, that big range from back in 2021. What if that's this? Like, ETH could do something similar, trade into 6K. That's not that one. Or we're here. Right? And we need more chop and then breakout. Who knows? I like your short, would make sense to retrace in October, but opinions are split between the first and the last 2 weeks of the month. In my opinion, the sooner we do the retrace, the better. But at the same time, like I said, if the weekly closes above last month's high, I think it will be hard to retrace. And at that point, I think we just run away from the flat low and we see something similar than what we saw here. Right, so run away from the candle, close, maybe little retrace, and then send, full send after. But it will be hard, you know, timing the top. Everyone realizes that it's not gonna last for too much longer, not necessarily on Bitcoin, but mostly on altcoins, I feel like. So yeah, could go fast once people start selling. We'll see. Doge is another one that I quite like. You have like these test pumps. Maybe it's setting up for something huge, you know. We've seen this before on like, especially those older coins, Dino coins, right? Where you get these test pumps, they retrace. Another test pump, they retrace, and that's just gearing up for a massive move to the upside. So who knows? I have some spot as well, not that much though. See, on Zcash you had something similar here. Test pump, test pump, test pump, and then boom. And now, crazy move. I was looking at this one as well, like when it was here. And I was like, yeah, maybe these highs are next, but not worth the risk reward. And then it did this. Well, we're rejecting now, as you can see. I think we're close to topping here on the lower time frames. Do you look at order flow? Nope. Do you see Bitcoin going parabolic since 15k? Or parabolas are not your cup of tea? I'm not sure what you mean with that. If you're talking about like using it as support, like something like this, that's indeed not my cup of tea. But sure. Hello, Oscar. So yeah, I don't have much more to say, to be honest. Let's see what Bitcoin does here, whether it keeps making new highs and runs, or we're about to see the reclaim here and start retracing. I'm still short, but I do realize that there's a good chance that we also see a lot higher. I do think we see a lot higher. I just think we need to retrace first. All right. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. It was just a last minute live stream, chill one. Like I said, I'm doing a giveaway of a breakout evaluation where you get a chance to get an evaluation for a $100,000 account, a funded account. Okay, all you have to do is buy your first evaluation using my code. So do that if you want, right? Check out the description. If you want to trade your own money, feel free to use my link for Blowfin. If you did that and deposited, you're free to join my Discord group as well, where I post my public trades, where I publicly post my trades, right? All transparent. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Take care, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.